Hey guys, welcome to the channel, and here's the verse of the day. So I'm going to be reading from John 3:19 in my New King James Version. And this is the condemnation, that the light has come into the world, and men love darkness rather than light, because their deeds were evil. So this is when Jesus is talking to Nicodemus, the Pharisee priest, and you um, religious man, holy man. So Jesus, just a couple verses before, gave us John 3:16, for God so loved the world that he gave his only begotten son so that we might be saved through him. And Jesus came down to bring us the ultimate salvation, to die for our sins, to bridge the gap between God and man. We just celebrated Easter last week, and that is the biggest thing that's ever happened in human history, in the history of the universe, at least to me, the most significant moment that Jesus died for us, died for me, saved me from everything. But Jesus brings up what happens when you don't accept him into your heart, when you don't accept his salvation. Because yes, he did die for us. He leaves that open to us to accept him, to have that relationship with him, to be saved. So this is the condemnation. Jesus came to bring salvation, not to condemn us himself. He didn't come to condemn anybody, but those who reject that salvation that Jesus brought to us condemn themselves. So we never need to give God a reason to condemn us, which the only reason you could give him now is just by not believing in him, not, you know, giving that relationship, accepting that relationship, accepting his salvation. My pastor at church brought up an interesting point, that hell is just the absence of God. It's a place where God gives people that rejected him what they've always wanted, which is a life without God, a life without basically light, or food, all of that stuff. So just a place without God. So that's the condemnation that Jesus speaks of. So this is just people that don't accept God, don't accept Jesus' love for them. So, and then Jesus ends that verse with that the light has come into the world. That was Jesus coming into the world, bringing the light of life, of eternal salvation into the world. That's his light, Jesus' light. And men loved darkness rather than light because their deeds were evil. So Jesus explained what keeps people from faith and rescue in him is because we are drawn to darkness and love it more than the light. Alan Parr from The Beat brought up an interesting point that I saw, Saturday on YouTube, that he was talking about, does Satan plant thoughts in our head, or is it the world? Well, a good point is that Satan likely is, has a big play in this world. At least some people believe that he's the ruler of this world, and that's why there's so much sin and everything and evil. So I think at the very least he does plant thoughts in our head, and the world is based off of what Satan likes, what is evil, what's sinful, and that plants thoughts in our heads. And as human beings, we tend to get drawn towards our own heart, towards our own, inhibitions, our own sin, instead of what Jesus wants for us. It looks great, it sounds great, like, that woman's so hot, or whatever, porn, lust, whatever. It draws us in towards something that we shouldn't be. So it draws us away from God. And men would rather love the darkness than light, because the light's harder, not cussing, not being lustful, not, looking at every single woman as a sexual object, not trying to have sex with every woman or get at every woman, being with one woman your whole life, or if you're a woman, one man your whole life, or, having kids and raising them right, having certain opinions that are in line with what Jesus would want, with what the Bible writes. It's hard. It's hard being nice to people all the time. It's hard trying to be loving like Jesus is. I mean, there's a lot of Christians that don't even exhibit those. And it's important to show Jesus' love to everybody, whether they're a Christian, a Jew, an atheist, anything, Jesus would want that. Jesus doesn't want us to be hateful, because then we're a part of the world if we're hateful. Jesus wasn't hateful. So, people tend to move towards the darkness because it's more appealing to them. It's more, you know, in fashion, in line with what everybody else is doing. It's easier, it's what the world wants. So it's just, you know, you don't you don't get with God if you reject him by joining the world. So people are drawn more towards, what's sinful, what's lustful, instead of Jesus, the light that brought everything into the world. So, I'm looking at Enduring Word right now. They say something along the lines of many opponents of Christianity have a vested interest in fighting against the truth of Jesus because they love their sin and don't want to face it or face a God who will judge their sin. I hear a lot of things that's like, why would a loving God send me to hell? And it's not that God sends you to hell. You kind of send yourself to hell when you actively um, partake in a lot of things that we shouldn't. When you shun Jesus, shun God, and shun people, it's I'm sure there's people that say they believe in God. I've seen it in churches. There are bad people in churches. There are people who say they are in the name of God and they are not. They are, bad people. So, it's just you condemn yourselves. This is what Jesus is saying. You condemn yourself by not accepting him. So accept him into your heart, love him, have a relationship with him, pray to him. He died for all of us. He was resurrected for all of us to prove that we have life beyond death. And in this world, we got to prove it. We got to prove that we're worthy of that. I mean, that's the wrong thing to say. We're never going to be worthy of it. We never will be, to be honest. But we have to try our best to be a good model of Jesus here on earth, not of the devil. So be more like Jesus, accept him into your heart, have that eternal salvation, and just be a good person here. Just be the best Christian person you can be. Always be friendly to people, always be nice, always be loving, spread love, not hate. Always be cool to everybody. We're all one big family on earth, and we gotta show that love to people instead of hating on people. So I just wanted to bring this up. Jesus came and died and resurrected for our sins, but we have to accept it. Otherwise, we condemn ourselves to hell. So thank you for watching, guys, and I hope you guys have a blessed day, have a blessed Sunday, have a restful rest of your weekend, and hopefully work, school, or whatever else is coming in the week isn't too egregious. So have a blessed day, guys. Peace.